Just did.
We're going to start off with Doug's first trip ever into a library. So I want you all to think back of your first trip into a library and see if we can't merge those two all warm and cozy. It was dark inside and cool and quiet. And maybe stupid Marysville was a dump, but this place, well, wasn't. I'm going to cry already. That's just inappropriate. The marble outside led to the marble inside. And when you walked, your footsteps echoed, even if you had sneakers on. People were sitting around long tables with green-shaded lamps, reading newspapers and magazines. Past the tables was a desk where a woman, with her glasses on a chain looped around her neck, was looking as if she didn't know how dumb glasses look when you got them on a chain looped around your neck. And past her started the shelves, where I figured the stuck-up girl with the bike was, picking out a new stack of books to put in her basket and take back to her pretty little Marysville house. Suddenly I wasn't sure I wanted her to see me. So I saw another staircase, marble again, circling up to the next floor. I took it. Its steps were smooth and warm, as if lots of people like the girl with the bike had been climbing up here for lots of years. Even the brass banister shone bright from all the hands that had run along it. So what if everyone in stupid Marysville comes into the stupid library every day? So what? I got to the top, and in this big open room with not much, there was a painting on the wall with a guy with a rifle across his chest looking as if he was having a vision or something. And in the middle of the room, there was this square table with a glass case top. And that was it. All that space just for that. If my father had this space, he'd fill it with tools and boards and a drill press and a lathe and cans of stuff before you could spit twice. There'd be sawdust on the floor, cobwebs on the ceiling, the smell of iron and machine oil everywhere. I went over to the table to see how come it was the only lousy thing in the whole lousy room. And right away, I knew why. This is where we've gone to the park, Awkward. Underneath the glass was this book. A huge book. A huge, huge book. Its pages were longer than a good-sized baseball bat, and I'm not lying. And on the whole page, there was only one picture of a bird. I couldn't take my eyes off it. He was all alone. And he looked like he was falling out of the sky and into this cold green sea. His wings were back. His tail feathers were back. And his neck was pulled around as if he was trying to turn, but he couldn't. His eye was round and bright and afraid. And his beak was open a little bit, probably because he was trying to suck in air before he crashed into the water. The sky around him was dark, like the air was too heavy to fly in. This bird was falling, and there wasn't a single thing in the world that cared at all. It was the most terrifying picture I'd ever seen. The most beautiful. I leaned down into the glass close to the bird. I think I started to breathe a little more quickly since the glass fogged up and I had to wipe the wet away. I couldn't help it. Dang, he was so alone. He was so scared. The wings were wide and white, and they swooped back into sharp rays. And between these, the tail feathers were even sharper, and they narrowed and narrowed like scissors. All the layers of his feathers trembled, and I could almost see the air rushing past them. I held my hand as if I had a pencil in it and drew on the glass case over the tail feathers. They were so sharp. If my hand had shaken even a tiny bit, it would have ruined the whole picture. I drew over the ridges of the wings and the neck and the long beak. And then, at the end, I drew the round